Juan Soto got 5 offers, and the Yankees are in that group of offers, and we're going to talk about it.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I am one of your hosts, Stacey Gotsulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. With me, in his triumphant return to the show, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, how are you doing?
Yes, I was away in as some would call God's country in Indiana. So enjoying all of that the Midwest had to offer me.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later in the show. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. On today's show, we're going to talk about Brian's trip to Indiana. He did a lot of sporting stuff. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss whether the Yankees should explore maybe a trade for Cody Bellinger, because why not? But first, let's talk about Juan Soto and his 5 offers. We don't know what they are, but we know the teams and, usual suspects are in there, plus the Blue Jays.
Yeah, so it's weird when these teams come out because you're kind of like expecting what's going to happen. You're expecting what teams are going to come out, and you kind of know the range the offers are in, but it really does feel like every single offer that you see float online on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you see it, you don't know which one to believe or not. You see one account that says, oh, the Mets offered blank and the Yankees offered blank and he's willing to sign here and here and here. Nobody knows what Juan Soto is willing to do other than Juan Soto. Mm-hmm. It really is the truth at this point. You expect offers to be made, finances to be exchanged. I do think these are the first round of offers, and I do anticipate that after this round is over, there's probably going to be 2 of these teams that drop off.
Yeah. It's the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers. Those are the 5 teams so far who have sent him offers. And Soto did something goofy Tuesday morning for Celsius. He's doing Celsius now. And he said, the announcement you've all been waiting for. And he jokingly was in front of microphones and doing a press conference about being the new spokesperson for Celsius, which I'm assuming is a drink. I don't know. I don't drink that stuff, but
no, I'll speak on this for a second. I'm not a spokesperson for Celsius, but I will say, you haven't tried it, I'm assuming, right? It's the new thing that's taken over the world. It's an energy drink, but it's significantly healthier than like Red Bull or Monster or any of those. And it's supposed to be like a health-based energy drink or whatever it is. It has about 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. The average cup of coffee is about 50. So I had one at my other job a few weeks ago, and I thought my heart was going to explode. So it is very, 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 very strong. So if you need to pick me up, take it, but with caution. I guess if it works for Juan Soto, it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll work for you.
It won't. I have ADHD, and no amount of caffeine.
Yeah, that'll send you over the top.
No, it won't, because I have ADHD. So if I take stuff like that, that actually calms me down. I'm one of those people, if I take NyQuil, I'm like up all night. I don't sleep. Like nothing helps me sleep. I can drink 5 cups. That would calm you down? Yeah. If I drink a cup of coffee before bed, I'll pass out. Like I don't get affected by caffeine. So I could have one of those drinks and not be affected by it.
Interesting. Well, then try all the flavors and let us know what you think. Hey, if it brings Juan Soto to the Yankees, wonderful. I anticipate in this list of teams, it's going to be the Red Sox and Dodgers that drop off. I do think the Dodgers are just involved in this to be involved in doing their due diligence. I mean, this is the way the Dodgers are operating is the way that I wish the Yankees would operate, is the way that I wish every team would operate. Be in the race for a free agent until you're not. Until the offer gets to a point where you're not comfortable. And whatever that number is fine. But yeah. I hated during the Bryce Harper negotiations when the Yankees just announced unequivocally that they're not in. And to me, that's so frustrating because you don't know what he's willing to sign with. You don't know if his childhood dream is to be a Dodger or a Yankee or whatever the answer is. Now, I don't think Juan Soto's childhood dream is to be a Dodger. I don't think he wants to be a Dodger that desperately. I don't know if any of that's true, but regardless, I'd love my team to operate in a sense of let's just poke around and see if he wants to play here, and if he doesn't. And if the offer comes through like we all think, where, Juan Soto's saying, I need 12 years and 300 and 600 and whatever it is, then the Dodgers can drop off and say, we're not interested anymore. And that's it. And that's fine. But why not poke your head around? I think that's going to be the case for the Dodgers and for the Red Sox, to be honest.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that, I think the Blue Jays and Red Sox are interesting just because the Red Sox have made it a point to not go too crazy with contracts and stuff lately, but probably waiting for this to happen. I know there are other things happening with the Blue Jays too, with Vlad Jr. I saw some stuff swirling around about them looking for someone to put at third to move him to first. Is that what was going on? Same thing with the Red Sox. They're thinking about moving Devers off of third and to first. There's a lot of things that teams are doing to shuffle things around. And
they're gonna have to sign. They're gonna have a lot of financials moving around in the next coming future. The Blue Jays too, because they have Biggio will be up soon. They'll have to sign him. I don't know what's gonna wind up happening. Vlad isn't on a long-term extension yet, so they're gonna have to give him a long-term extension. You're likely gonna see him get.
Do you mean Bichette? Because Biggio's not with them anymore. Yeah,
Bichette. Yeah. He's gonna. It's so confusing with all the former players that are on the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
All the former players' sons that are on the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
But Vlad's going to get a massive extension at some point. They're going to make him a lifetime Blue Jay. So there is going to be money that's going to be needed to spend. But to your point, the Blue Jays have been involved in insert free agent here for the last 5-6 years. It seems like every big free agent that becomes available, the Blue Jays poke their head around. So is it time for them to make a big investment on one of them? Maybe. I've seen a lot of reports and heard from a lot of people that they're going to be the team that becomes the bugaboo, though. That they are going to be the team that's going to be involved in all this. It's going to mess things up for either the Yankees or the Mets. So I do anticipate seeing that. The Red Sox, to me, is the interesting one because I don't know how you say to Mookie Betts, goodbye. I don't know how you say to Chris Sale, goodbye. Traded both of them away. Chris Sale wins the Cy Young. Mookie Betts wins 2 World Series now with the Dodgers and has MVP quality seasons in every season that he's been there so far. Dodgers have no issue giving Mookie Betts the money. Braves, no issue paying Chris Sale his existing contract and probably giving him an extension after the Cy Young. Why is there all of a sudden this motivation to now spend money? Seems weird. Juan Soto's a great player, don't get me wrong, but you need a full team. The Yankees proved that this year to win with Juan Soto. And is there really a lot of motivation from Juan Soto to go play with the Red Sox when they don't necessarily show this crazy dedication towards winning or spending money? Like, how believable is it if you're Juan Soto sitting in a meeting and the Red Sox say, we're going to spend a lot of money. We're going to spend X, Y, and Z. They haven't proven that over the last decade. So why would he believe that now? That one just seems fishy to me. I don't know why they'd be that involved.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting that the Dodgers actually made an offer. Like, it's one thing for people to think that the Dodgers were going to be involved in stuff, but I just thought it was interesting that they actually did make an offer. But that's how you should be. Like you said, if you're that type of team, you should be in on everyone, no matter who it is. Everyone. Exactly. You have the money to do it. And if they don't accept your offer, okay, move on to the next one. And that's what the Yankees used to be, and that's what they should be. And I don't know why they aren't anymore. And it kind of drives me crazy.
I wish they were. It drives me crazy too, because again, like the point that I made is you don't know what this guy, maybe Juan Soto's got this love for Southern California and just wants to live there so desperately and finds God and says, you know what, $500 million is enough for me to live on. Right. And takes a contract with them and signs there and moves there. And that's it. You don't know that. That's the thing. Like, when you have the money and the financials, to me, there should be 30 teams on this list on our rundown of teams involved in that have offered Juan Soto something.
Right.
The Reds should have said, here's 1 year, $50 million. Let's see if you take it. And if he says no, which he will, then wonderful. At least we made our attempt. It would annoy me more if you're a fan of a team that doesn't make the attempt. That would bother me more.
Right. Yep. All right. Coming up next, should the Yankees try to trade for Cody Bellinger? We'll discuss it. discuss it. Pardon my voice, by the way, too. I blew my vocal cords out yesterday. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You'll get texts from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out lineups during the season, the roster moves, any kind of trades that happen then, and breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. All right, again, let's discuss Cody Bellinger.
Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book because right now, new customer. No, it's Ibotta, this one. Oh, well, sorry, guys. I'm reading the wrong read because I'm scrolling too far down on my rundown. I'm looking forward to the show ending quicker than it actually is. Let's go to Ibotta. Big holidays mean big family get-togethers. So gather your loved ones and enjoy all of the holiday traditions you cherish with the help of cash back from Ibotta. This month, Ibotta is giving new users 100% cash back on your Thanksgiving feast. Just add the offers in the app to redeem for everything you need to make your Thanksgiving feast complete. All you have to do is shop at your favorite retailers and upload your receipt. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items, from produce to personal care to pantry goods, so you can get everything you need for the holidays. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, you get real cash back that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or get in the form of gift cards. You can also earn cash back on hundreds of online brands and retailers too when you start with Ibotta, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Now download the Ibotta app and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get 100% cash back on your Thanksgiving feast starting November 1st. Just go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Locked On MLB. That's Ibotta in the Google Play or App Store. Use code Locked On MLB. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by Game Time. Now, guys, you've been to all kinds of events. I know everybody that listens to our chat or to our show is in on going to events, and we're going to get into later my Indiana trip. All the trip in Indiana, all the games that I went to, all 5 or 6 venues that I was at, all of my tickets I got on Game Time. It's the best place to get all your tickets to all the events that you're trying to get to. And with Game Time, getting the best tickets for every live event, it's never been easier. They've got a new feature called Game Time Picks, which does all the hard work for you. Instead of searching through thousands of tickets, Game Time Picks filters out the fluff, and it shows you only the absolute best deals on great seats. If that wasn't enough, they've got an all-in pricing feature for you too. Just toggle it on and it shows you the full price up front with no surprises at the checkout. You also get seat views. So if you've never been to a venue before, which was every single venue that I went to in Indiana, you can see a panoramic view from your seat in the app so you can decide exactly where you want to sit. So this is it. You can take all the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create the account, use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. So, Stacey, I don't know why I am all over the place when it comes to the rundown today and what we're doing during the show. I guess I'm still in vacation mode, right? I do want to thank all of you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen. And remember that every Friday, it's Fan Mail Friday. You can leave questions underneath the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday, or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club to get top priority during Fan Mail Friday. The link's in the description. Look at that. We're back. I'm all over the place, apparently, when it comes to being out of vacation mode. I did fly in last night, and I had this thought on the plane because there was a lot of news being made over the weekend, particularly that the Cubs are massive shoppers when it comes to Cody Bellinger. And Cody Bellinger just had a very interesting career, right? Had the year with Aaron Judge where he won the other MVP in the National League. No, the Rookie of the Year, actually. He's won an MVP in the National League. He's had a 50-plus home run season. He's an elite fielder. He had a great year for the Cubs when he first got there. He had a great year for the Cubs last year. Not as good of a year as he did the first year, but still pretty good year. Cubs awarded him an extension. Cubs gave him an opt-out after next season. And now apparently it's been made public that the Cubs are aggressively shopping Cody Bellinger. And we've tried to cover both aspects of this on the show of what do the Yankees do if they sign Juan Soto? What do the Yankees do if they don't sign Juan Soto? Full disclosure. If the Yankees sign Juan Soto, Cody Bellinger's out. There's no way they're going to get him. There's no point in getting him. It doesn't make sense. There's nowhere for him to really play. If Juan Soto doesn't sign with the Yankees, you interested? It's an honest question. Do you think that he fits? Lefty bat, can potentially play first base. He could be an option, I guess, if Juan Soto winds up staying. Could be a first baseman. Could be a plug-in outfielder. Does a lot, can move around in the field, and is a productive hitter. Is a left-handed bat. Now, his numbers went down last year. Let me just go over them for you so you guys have them. The year before with the Cubs, his first year with the Cubs. Now, remember, he finished off in L.A. awful. He wound up hitting like 200. He became just a shell of the player that he was. L.A. cut ties with him. He goes to Chicago. In his first year there at Wrigley, 307 batting average, 356 on base. He has 26 homers, 97 RBIs, and it plays in 130 games. So great year. Now, this past season, plays in 130 games again, has 18 homers, 78 RBIs, still good production, probably better power production if he's playing with the Yankees because of the left field porch. 40, he had 89 strikeouts, which is way cut down on what he was doing with LA. 266 batting average, 325 on base. Now, he did go down, but I think it's still a lot of production the Yankees could use. He'd be an upgrade over Anthony Rizzo for sure.
For sure. Was he the one that injured his shoulder high-fiving someone during the World Series in 2020?
That is accurate. Yes, he did do that.
Okay. I was like, is that a fever dream? Did I dream this or did that actually happen? Okay. So that explains the falling off in the subsequent years because that was bad. I find this interesting because again, it would probably only be if they can't sign Juan Soto because I can't see them doing both because the Yankees, as much as we would like for them to go out and get everyone, they're not going to go out and get everyone. But he could be an interesting option because what are they doing with first base? Because if they don't get Christian Walker, I know they're attached to Christian Walker, like he's been in rumors since this season ended. But if they don't get a legit first baseman, what are they doing there?
Yeah, so Cody Bellinger's got 2 years at $52 million left on his deal, which isn't bad. There's a player opt-out after next season. So if he has a great year for the Yankees, he likely opts out. Christian Walker, I think projected right now is a 3-year deal for about $66 million is the last that I saw, which I think I'd be comfortable with at 20. That's a reasonable deal at $22 million a year for a player like that. I think there's more upside with Cody Bellinger. I do. I think you're not getting as good of fielding than you guys are going to get out of Walker. Cody Bellinger is more of an outfielder than a first baseman. Still a solid glove at first base, but he's more of an outfielder.
Right.
So you're getting a better glove with Christian Walker, which I know the Yankees probably would want. But you are getting more power production out of Cody Bellinger. I think there's more possibility at Yankee Stadium. He probably gives you 30 homers. He probably gives you 90 RBIs. If he has a year similar to what the Cubs did, also with an opt-out next year, there's motivation for him to want to have a great year because he could probably cash in one more time. Cody Bellinger is going to be 30 years old at the end of next season.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I couldn't remember how old he was.
Yeah, so he's got room to, if he has a tremendous year with the Yankees, he could opt out and still potentially get that 5-6 year deal for, 6, 7 figure, 8 figures, 9 figures, whatever it is, and wind up actually cashing in on that. So I don't know. I'm more of a proponent of Cody Bellinger, honestly. I don't think it's that crazy. Now, I don't want to sound like a Yankee fan who, wants him to be in on every single player because I do think we get, a lot of Yankee fans get like that. But I don't think Cody Bellinger is an awful upgrade. And, I try to paint this picture a lot, especially to our fans of the show and stuff. What are you comfortable with if the offseason ends? And I'll ask you this. Say they don't make a lot of bullpen upgrades, but the offseason ends with Juan Soto, Cody Bellinger, and Shane Bieber. You happy with that?
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. I don't think you couldn't be. And I think they're improved from last year. So there is room to make this team better, even if you don't get Juan Soto.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, It's so funny because we're not even a month away from the World Series ending, and it's not common for guys to sign already, but the thing that I'm seeing the most from people, and I saw it earlier in the chat, is, why is it taking Juan Soto so long to make a decision? It's like it's not even December yet. It's
Yeah,
not
this
that long
isn't long,
yet.
unfortunately.
No, it really isn't. And
It just
especially
is
with the
it's
way.
funny compared to other sports, though. It really is, because the NBA and NHL, when their offseason starts July 1st, it feels like guys sign in a blink of an eye.
Yeah,
There's already deals everywhere. And the NFL, too, all the major names are signed within, 48 hours. So I do see how, if you're a fan of other sports and you see how quick free agents sign other sports, it would be frustrating how baseball players just don't sign.
right. And baseball free agency is totally different now because teams wait to even talk to guys. We saw it in a few different off seasons recently where guys weren't being signed until the season already started. And these are guys who had strong seasons the year before and who were big time free agents that you figured were going to be signed early, like Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery. You saw it with Machado and you saw it with Harper. And if it wasn't when the season started, it was right before the season started or when spring training already started that these guys were finally signed by teams. And it's just different now with free agency. Things aren't done as quickly as they used to be, which is annoying as a fan, but we just have to
I don't think
accept that
it's good
that's
for
the
the
way it
sport.
is.
I don't think
No,
it's good for the sport. It's not. Like, it creates such a stalemate in the topic, in conversation moving when it comes to the sport. It really
right.
does. It creates such an unbelievable stalemate, and it's not good for the offseason of the sport, because now baseball is essentially irrelevant. Other than the daily Juan Soto notification you get on your phone from MLB.com, you're not getting any baseball conversation, and that's really not good for the sport.
Right. Like the biggest news of the weekend, and I spoke about it on yesterday's show, was Yusei Kikuchi being signed by the Angels and the Reds swapping Brady Singer for Jonathan India. Like those
Yeah,
were the two big moves.
exactly. Which
And
hip hip hooray, but
other than that, it's like, okay, big deal.
exactly. That's the point. So it's not good for the sport.
Yeah. And it seems like a lot of people are just waiting for Juan Soto. Like not just the teams that are involved with him, but other teams are also waiting. Like, let's just see what Juan Soto does, and then we'll go after whoever's left and that
Not
sort
good.
of thing. So yeah, it's not good. But also again, it's not even Thanksgiving. We're a couple of days away from Thanksgiving and no one signs before this. Like this is just the
Ever.
regular. And it's also odd because it feels like this month has been so long since,
Oh
like it
yeah.
feels like the World Series was like 2 months ago and it was
And it was
really,
in this month.
yeah, like it was, it ended October 30th. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just odd. So we'll see what happens. But, no offense to Cody Bellinger, but I would rather have Juan Soto. If it's between the two of them, obviously, I would rather have the guy who
Yeah,
just
not
turned
questioning that for
the,
sure.
the guy who just turned 26 over the guy who's turning 30. Sorry. Can't help it. All right. Coming up next, Brian's going to regale us with stories from Indiana and his experiences out there.
Well, now we go to FanDuel, guys. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL. They're all available in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more, all available on FanDuel, and the same page where you place all of your bets. Guys, college football is getting its rankings, or later on tonight, 8 p.m. You will see the rankings available. Will Indiana get in? Will schools like, where will Penn State rank? Where will Alabama fall to? All that, you can bet it all on FanDuel. If teams make the playoff or not, if teams will be, you can bet playoff lines on FanDuel. It's all available, national championship odds as well. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel. It's the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Stacey, we're back. So I was in Indiana the last couple of days. You were gracious enough to do the show on doing it as a solo venture for the last couple of days. I had one of the ultimate sports trips for me, I guess. When We went to Indianapolis, tried St. Elmo's, which is, consistently ranked as one of the greatest steakhouses in the world. That was tremendous. Would recommend it to everybody. Incredible, incredible, incredible meal. Went to the Indianapolis Colts game. Beautiful stadium. Makes me, every time I go to a football stadium that's not MetLife Stadium, I instantly get angry that MetLife Stadium is a dump, and why we have the worst football stadium in the Indianapolis Colts have a giant window at the end of their stadium that overlooks the city skyline of Indianapolis. Now, it's not much to be desired, the city skyline of Indianapolis, but imagine the potential and the possibility that New York City had with building a giant window facing Manhattan of the view. Instead, we built a giant air conditioning vent as MetLife Stadium, which
That's
is
exactly what it looks like. It looks like a
Yeah.
giant air conditioner. The stadium out in Las Vegas looks like a Roomba, and MetLife looks like an air conditioning unit.
It's insane. I've been to SoFi. That one, it's like built into the ground with a canopy over it. It's incredible. All these new stadiums are outrageous, and then you go into them and you think, well, this is what thankfully that with two teams combined for MetLife, by the way, two teams paying for it, we can't get anything remotely close to what other teams have built in their cities. So that kind of stinks. But the stadium itself in Indianapolis, gorgeous. We took a drive down to Bloomington and went to Indiana University to go to a basketball game at Assembly Hall. That was incredible. I love seeing old venues. If you go to my Instagram, you can see me wearing a picture of overalls, of Indiana overalls. Did do that, went tarps on for that, kept the shirt underneath, didn't go shirtless underneath. It was snowing in Indiana. So kind of had to stay a little warmer out there. We did a Columbus Blue Jackets game when we drove to Columbus, because earlier in that day, we did Ohio State versus Indiana. Now, I don't know if anyone out there is big college football fans, but there is, I've said this a bunch of times, and it's the truth. I don't think there's any better playoff atmosphere than Yankee Stadium for a playoff game. I truly mean that. But there is something special about college football on campus, 100,000+ people, the tailgates, the atmosphere, the family involvement with it. I don't know if your family is like this, but my family certainly isn't. But those generations of students that went to these big time schools where grandpa went there and grandma went there and, then mom and dad went there and then you go there, you see it all culminating on these campuses. And it really is, it's an incredible, incredible experience. I absolutely, absolutely love it. So I've been to LSU, I've been to Penn State. Now I did Ohio State, all that really incredible. But I do want to, I don't know how much you've been to the Midwest or middle part of the country.
Never.
It is so weird when you go out there, and I can explain it. It is so weird when you go out there and you're from New York, born and raised in New York, been to mostly New York. The difference in lifestyle, it is from the middle of the country to here. It's incredible. It makes you kind of envious, but you're also so used to it here that it's not that different. But man, it is so, so, so weird when you are out there and everything is just quiet and the roads are open at 5:00 in the afternoon. There's just not traffic in the middle of the city. It's such a weird thing. It's just, I can't believe you've never been out to that part of the country. You've never seen quiet.
No. I've flown over that part of the country because I've gone to the West Coast a few times. I've been to Arizona. I've been to Las Vegas a few times, but I've never been. Yeah. I nearly applied for a job in Chicago because when I was getting laid off from NBC, the people at the Chicago station that we worked with were like, you should try for a job here. There's public transit. You don't have to drive, because they knew I didn't drive. They said there's a Greek town here. You can live among your people. I'm like, all right, I'm only half Greek. Let's calm down. But, but no, I haven't been to the middle of the country. I've been all up and down the East Coast because we used to drive to Florida when I was a kid all the time. And I've been up to Maine, and I was in Vermont. Never been to New Hampshire. I think that's the only state I haven't been on the East Coast. But every other state, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, everything up and down. Yes, but not the middle. Nope, just flown over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get everywhere as possible, but the middle is so weird. It's just, and people are friendly. Not that New Yorkers aren't, but they're not.
We're friendly when, okay, here's the thing. Like, if someone asks me for directions, like when I used to live and work in the city, I was very nice about it. And I used to be Hop Stop before Hop Stop existed, which doesn't exist anymore. But I would tell people like 3 different ways to get places on the subway because I knew how to get everywhere. And I helped a group from North Carolina make it down to Penn Station. And they were so thankful and so happy that I helped them. And they were like, oh, we're always afraid to ask. I'm like, no, we're nice. But like, if we're in a hurry, don't bother us. But if we're just sitting here, yes, you can ask us anything you want. It's fine. We'll be nice to you.
Yeah, I'd agree. New Yorkers will help you, but they're not offering to help you. And I don't think that infectious kindness is there with New Yorkers. Like New Yorkers just kind of want to do their own thing. You go to a stand in the city and you order a bagel and coffee. Here it is. There you go. Thank you. Good night. Goodbye. That's all it is in New York. Whereas in Indiana or in Ohio or name blank state in the middle, how's your day? How's this going? Are you excited for the holiday? Like as a New Yorker though, you sit there and you go, stop, just enough, and give me what I need and move on. It is that weird because you're so used to just not wanting to be friendly with people. But it is so weird how friendly people are across the country. And then you come back here and you're like, yep, I'm home. It's funny.
It's funny that you're calling that the middle of the country because it's not even really the middle of the country. Like, my brother has his college roommate who he's still really good friends with, lives in Oklahoma City. So my brother goes out to Oklahoma City and then they end up going to Kansas City. They end up going down to Texas. He's been to Houston, Dallas. Like he did all this stuff with his college roommate. That's the real middle of the country.
No, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, I want to go to these places. I would like to go to some of these places. I really, what I really want to do? I want to do the barbecue tour of the country where you go to all the barbecue places.
Ooh, so I've done Texas. That's incredible.
You do North Carolina, you do Memphis, you do Texas, you do Kansas City. Like it's a whole, like there's an actual website that you go to. You could book this trip and you go with a bunch of people and you go to all the different places. I mean, it's probably really expensive, but if I could save up money for that, I would totally do that. And Texas that would get me to a bunch of places that I've never been to. So
Texas barbecue is incredible. It's definitely worth it. It's crazy how America's got so many different everything is so different in different states and everything like that. You go from state to state and it's completely different. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting. But I enjoyed it. Middle of the country was great. Hit up a lot of sports venues. Most of my trips involve sports. Well, weirdly enough, who would have guessed? But most of my trips involve that. Also, fun note or side note, not fun, side note. The Pittsburgh Pirates AAA affiliate is in Indianapolis. I know they have like a big AAA team there. The stadium was pretty nice. We drove past it. They are called the Indianapolis Indians. Mm-hmm. Very weird how they never thought to change that, but the Major League team got changed. So it was such an important thing. The Major League team got changed, but the minor league team we kind of just left alone. Very strange.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But there are other teams that haven't been changed yet and probably should, but they haven't yet.
The motivation behind where we want to change it is very strange. But
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your trip. Glad it was safe and you didn't go too crazy because I was expecting you to come back with a voice that sounded like mine. So I was like worried that we were going to be
hard in that part of the country to be doing that. No, when I go to Vegas and next year, then you'll hear it.
Okay, because I was just figuring you were at all these sporting events and you'd be screaming and yelling and stuff. And I, when I woke up with no voice this morning, I was thinking to myself, well, this live stream is going to be really great with the two of us sounding raspy. But okay,
well, I always sound raspy, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm imitating you with my voice, with my deep voice. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining us live. Let's just look at some comments because I feel like we've been ignoring everyone and they're all here with us. We had as high as 84 people at one point. So thank you for that. I mean, the middle of the day on a Tuesday, right before Thanksgiving, when people should be shopping for food. Although actually, truthfully, you all should have shopped for your food already because you don't want to wait till the last minute to do anything. See, other people are agreeing with you about people being nice in the middle of the country. Again, New Yorkers aren't mean. We're just in a hurry all the time. And if you're not in a hurry, we get mad at you. Like if you take up too much space on the sidewalk, if you walk out of a store and you're looking up at stuff, don't do that. If you're going on an escalator, do not stand on the left side ever.
Thomas, I did check out the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it was the tour was amazing. I forgot to even mention that largest sporting venue in the world. It was incredible. Great to see. I did find this weird though. I'm not a NASCAR fan, full disclosure. But I'm aware of the bricks, the tradition of the bricks. So I am aware of that on the floor. And you go out to the finish line where the bricks are. On the tour, they let you kiss the bricks, which I felt wrong. I felt that shouldn't be allowed. I don't know how you feel. Like when I went to Toronto and I saw the Stanley Cup, I refused to touch it because I always felt that, you have to win the Stanley Cup to have the right to hold the Stanley Cup, touch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're allowed to kiss the bricks. It should be reserved for, it's like the winners have kissed the bricks since like 19 whatever, 09 or something like that. I don't understand why you're allowed to kiss the bricks if you're not a winner, like if you win the Indianapolis 500. So
I don't know why
I
people are
find that
kissing
very weird.
anything that a bunch of people have kissed, like the Blarney Stone in Ireland. My mom did that a few years ago, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I did it. I kissed the bricks. I'll post a picture on my Instagram later so everyone can see. I did kiss the bricks, but because I didn't feel like I was jinxing anything, because I'm not a NASCAR fan, so who am I jinxing? So I actually did kiss the bricks, but I find it weird that they allow that.
"Oh, see, Stacey's face matches mine." Papa Rick, I'm so sorry you have my face.
Yeah.
It was just the scowl I was making, or the disgusted face of picturing people who were kissing bricks. No, 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 especially not
Yeah,
now.
they're on the floor. They've been run over by tires a bunch of times. I'm sure they're
Yeah,
somewhat
and people's feet, and I mean, I know it's shoes, but who knows what's on shoes? No, no,
They
and
also
I'm not
drink.
even
They
I'm
also
not a
drink milk.
germaphobe, so
The winner gets to drink milk at the Indianapolis 500, and I find that disgusting. I don't like
I
milk. I'm not a milk fan.
me neither.
Yeah, I skeeve it. Like I'm
Yeah, me
grossed out by
too.
milk.
Okay, good.
So the fact that people drink milk when they win is disturbing to me, but people do it.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that people do that disturb me, but that's for a whole other show. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We figured Brian was coming back. Let's do a live stream in the afternoon. And, it just so happened that it coincided with 5 offers being made to Juan Soto. So thank you to the Blue Jays, Red Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets for doing that. So we had more to talk about than we thought we would, because there's so much not happening right now and it's hard. So yeah. Yeah. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. And for your second listen, go find Locked On MLB. The link isn't in the description. You can find it. Look it up on YouTube, look it up on Spotify or any other podcasting platform. Sully brings you a daily blend of humor and baseball. He keeps you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. And he's like a baseball encyclopedia. So listen to him. Again, find it on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you later.